Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. I am Georgie, one of the co-founders of the Black Pod Awards, and tonight we're doing our second application party to help you all out there make sure you apply. Application submissions are due, submissions are open. We are back with the second annual Black Pod Awards. And if you go to blackpodawards.com, you can definitely apply. Submissions are coming close to an end. You have less than 2 weeks to submit your application. Applications are due on August 31st, and our live award show, live virtually, of course, will be happening on September 26th. So make sure you get your applications in, and tonight we'll be supporting you through getting your applications in. So no matter if you're tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, definitely add some questions in the comments. Let us know what page you're on. Let us know if you're having difficulties. We're all going to go over a few of the features, and I'm going to pass it on to my co-founders, starting with Demetrius. So give us an intro, Demetrius.
Hey, good evening from Brooklyn. I'm Demetrius Bagley. I'm the fundraising director concerned with all things numbers. Passing the mic to Chanel.
Hey everyone, I'm Chanel. I am the brand lead director for BPA, and I'm here behind the scenes kind of just trying to get a lot of the day of the show graphics together, and that's why I'm here. So welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Lance, also from Brooklyn. I am the director for Day of, so all the pretty pictures that go up in the video and stuff like that, all the live streams that happens to present awards and everything. So that's what I do.
Awesome. And we'll have Perky, or Nominations and Applications Director, joining us in just a bit. And yeah, so definitely, who here in the comments, let us know, has submitted your application. If you've already submitted your application, just let us know, hey, I've submitted. If you are stuck, let us know that you are stuck. We're definitely here to talk through the applications and the different elements of how you can support, as well as be a part of the Black Podcasting Awards 2021. So Demetrius, I'd love to hear a little bit about how we're doing in terms of fundraising, and we could talk about, what our experience was with our Kickstarter, just like a little snippet until Perky gets here to talk a little bit more about applications. And I think, since you're the director of finance, isn't the application going up in a couple of hours, days? Talk to us, Demetrius. Let us know what's going on.
We shall see. I don't want to discourage people from applying, but what I really want to do is encourage people to get that material in right away, because our volunteer judges, _on-volunteer, are standing by and ready to review and score more submissions in all the categories. We are definitely looking for more donations and more cash sponsors and product sponsors. People can reach out, DM on one of our social media channels, or you can email blackpodcastingawards@gmail.com. I'm generally the person to look at those emails and forward them on or answer them if I know the answers. What was the other part that you asked? We have 28 categories, y'all, this year. We went from 16 last year. We'd like to expand all the way to 28, but to keep it real, right, and part of my job is I have to ask for the categories to be cut if they're not competitive, if we don't have enough to nominate some podcasts and thus choose a winner. And some of these categories, quite too many categories, they're looking soft right now. They're not healthy. They're not competitive. So sorry, I just bumped my mic. Please let other Black podcasters know that we are out here to check us out. We have 28 categories. I don't know that we've covered everything that's out there, but I think we've covered nearly everything in one or more categories. I won't try to go through them all because I don't have them committed to memory, but best Black food and drink podcast, where are y'all at? Best Black sex podcast, I know y'all are out there. Where are the applications? Food and drink, maybe y'all are not out there. I don't know. Maybe you don't like us. Maybe you haven't heard of us. Maybe you're a little intimidated by the 5-minute reel, which you don't need to be. It's just some audio excerpts put together so the judges can get, no pun intended, a taste of your podcast. But please let people know about us, and please come on and apply. Um, Not just apply, but send us all your materials. You have to answer some questions. Of course, we need your podcast artwork for our PDF catalog and our website. And nothing extensive. The reel is a little bit of work, but right, we're not going to listen through hours. We would love to, but it's not going to happen like that, where we're going to listen to seasons and hours and dozens of hours of podcasts. Cannot stress enough, our judges are volunteer. I cannot pay them. That would be unethical. And we don't have big money to pay them what they're worth. So I need applications and submissions from you listening. If not you, someone that you know or admire that is a Black podcaster who needs to go ahead and submit. Don't assume they have submitted already. Come on and get those applications in, and we'll go from there. All right, who's up so I don't just become a chatterbox per usual?
I mean, I can kind of just jump in. Oh, Perky's here, and I know Perky is the meat of all of this for the nominations area. So I'll hand that off to Perky, let her talk, and then I'll jump in.
Okay, so I kind of missed what was going on, but I'm sure I can just get right into this. So hey everybody, I'm Perky. I'm the nominations director, and it's a lot going on right now. We have quite a few entries that are already in, and we've already also begun judging, and so it's very exciting to see everything that's going on. I've been doing the BPA happy hour, so I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram, but if you go and you look on there, then you will have seen some of the videos that answer some questions about how to do the audio reel and how to answer the questions, and if you should do a new audio reel if you apply to another category and stuff like that. So a lot of that has been answered, and I can go over it again. But what I want to say the most is that if you have applied to Best New Black Podcast, and that's the only thing you applied to, then you're doing yourself a disservice, and you should really apply to another category that also fits your podcast, because it's very impacted. It's like if you went to college and you wanted to become a psych major, like everybody's doing psychology. So you're going to have to narrow it down and also have your little minor on the side so that, you get some special attention. And so I would really like to encourage everybody to do that. So for instance, I think one of the podcasts that I seen that popped out to me was like chatting with Chowder, or chatting over Chowder, or something like that. And so shout out to them. It's a nice podcast, and I'm not sure if they applied to more than one category, but that one sounds like it also would fit under food and drink podcast, right? So it's like I'm not sure if Demetrius talked about this already, but we have some categories that are really slim when it comes to the applicants. And so I want to say that more people should definitely apply for food and drink, science, tech, beauty, fashion. This is just me going off of my head. I think maybe even history. And so please do so. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. How do I send a reel? Fiverr or no? Are you asking if you should get some help off of Fiverr to put your reel together? I mean, if that helps, you could definitely do that, Ronald. I would say so let's go to the reels. So we made audio reels a part of the application last year when we first started, because everybody's podcast can be a different length. So for instance, when I do my podcast, I'm usually around 45 minutes to an hour, right? So it's a lot of talking, a lot of everything is covered. How do you expect us to fully know who you are as a podcast without being able to we can't listen to the whole thing. We just can't. So we ask for peace. And the audio reel allows for you to highlight the best pieces or the best information or whatever about your podcast. And so I would say what you should do, if you do just use a clip, because I've seen a lot of people just use a clip from one episode because maybe they're not the editor or maybe they're not very good at editing audio. And so they just, give us a clip. If you're not going to introduce it or give us some insight into what the clip is about to talk about, then I wouldn't suggest you do that either, because it still doesn't give us a good idea of what the podcast is about. And sorry, Ronald's doing the most talking. Hey, Ronald. Perky, it costs money to apply for all these categories. Demetrius, do you want to address that part about the cost?
Yeah, actually, I will. And yes, I second that. Thank you, Ronald, I don't know if you were on the tweet earlier today, maybe it's yesterday. It's all blurring for me lately. Where one of our presenters last year, Josh Rivers, Busy Being Black, is an applicant this year and was encouraging some others. So I'm guessing maybe you saw that tweet or on that tweet. Money. We are all volunteers, all 5 of us you see here, and there are other volunteers you will see during the ceremony and behind the scenes. All this money goes back into paying for our tech that's not donated. If I'm not mistaken, Georgianne is donating the StreamYard access that we have here and that we used before and that we'll use more in the coming days. You know what I like? If you're not sitting on 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks, depending on how many categories and if you apply soon versus later, keeping in mind it's all in August, as I saw, and forgive me, I don't remember the name, on Instagram, I think on sometime this weekend, someone said, I don't have this money, y'all, but I'm getting ready to rock one or more of these categories. Come on and send me some money. And I think they put up their Venmo. I can't remember what the other app was. I think it was something I hadn't even heard of before. But ask your listeners, ask your supporters for help. It's only a few bucks that we're asking for. In fact, we're only asking for a few bucks, but that money, after all the fees get taken out for Evolato, for our platform to receive everything, PayPal or Stripe is going to get their cut up front. All that money is funneled right back into us buying physical awards, getting that shipped to you and packed, hopefully nicely, which I did all of that labor last year, and maybe some other things in there. So we're not going to Mexico, or we're not going anywhere, y'all. We're still in a pandemic. It's only a few bucks. Please don't be afraid to ask for what you need. If you need a better mic for your podcast, which that was me, I'm a producer of a podcast last April, May, because we couldn't get to our free studio space that I have access to in Brooklyn. Ask for some help. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it could be scary. You had said earlier, Georgie, on the Kickstarter. Our Kickstarter did not make it this year. We won't backtrack into that. But money is out there. People really do want to support. That's one of the things I can say on the flip side, not of this particular Kickstarter campaign, but in general. It's amazing, right? We here 5 have put in, I don't know how many hundreds of hours over the last 18 months with many other people, and this is our second year to make, in a pandemic, we're still in a pandemic, to make this happen. And I've volunteered for a lot of things across my life. I'm a little bit older than I look, even with the peeps here. And it's always amazing to me how people bring the money, bring the time, or whatever. So if you need that, whatever that sum is, it won't be more than $60 for us. Please do ask people just to shoot over $3, $1, $2, $5, whatever. I think you'll be surprised and maybe have a teary-eyed moment of how people usually do show up for people if we ask sincerely and not coming out of a place of greed or anything like that, but just need, or the $60 that you have in your bank account, if you have it, might be going just literally for your groceries for the week. I've been in that place very recently. I get it. But if that's not happening for you, you can certainly reach out to me and I will try to find someone for you. It's going on a long list, but I will nudge some people. But we don't want you to not apply if that's an obstacle. Do reach out to me by email. Yeah, okay, Josh told you. I see Ronald. Yeah, and he was a great presenter. Lance can speak to that because he worked directly with him. We've only emailed. In fact, I think I just emailed Josh about an hour ago. But please please come through. I would encourage you to ask your listeners and let it be for now. Pardon me. Also, just to get a beat or vibe, I've seen all sorts of ideas and connections come through from people asking for assistance, whether that's reviews, whether that's a little bit of money for a mic, which again I did last year for the Stars on Fire Black Astrology podcast, and people right away were like, "Here's this money." Right. And so I bought, I won't try to hold it up and pull it out of the socket, but we have nice mics, and without outing our free studio access, if that ever returns, nicer mics than we had when we were all coming into the free studio space. All right. That's plenty from me, but please do apply. And please, as Perky's saying, try to apply for 2 or more categories. Some of them are not as competitive as others.
Okay, so yes, some of them are not as competitive, and just some of them they need some love, or else they will not be able to stick around. What else? Judges. I need some judges. Oh! Before I get to that, so I actually just checked our Instagram messaging, Instagram DMs. Sorry if you guys hear my fan in the background. It's really, y'all know this global warming thing is going crazy. So sorry for the noise. But anyways, so as far as we had a DM on our Instagram that was from an Israeli person asking if they can apply, and that they don't identify as Black. And so I just want to put it out there that this is the Black Podcasting Awards. And although we love and appreciate all of the podcasters, this is definitely FUBU. So, we're here to support our people and uplift our people, but we definitely love allies. So if you would like to help share, if you would like to help volunteer, maybe not as a judge, I guess that's something we would have to talk about, but just as a volunteer to help assist us in some way, we would definitely love to do that. Maybe we can cross promote together, whatever the case. But yeah, this is geared towards us as a people, and that also goes for people that have multiple hosts. We don't mind if you have a co-host that is not white. That is not Black. But as long as there is somebody on there that is, we're okay with that. We talked about that last year. BET Bet. Is that Bet or BET? Even have a foreign performer award. I wish I could help with that. Again, we're year 2. We're all volunteers. So, eventually we do plan on having things throughout the year that highlight other aspects of podcasting, such as audio quality and equipment, or best guest and blah, 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 right? But as of right now, we just don't have the capacity. And like we're saying, we have a lot of categories right now that aren't even getting love. We have an international category, we have a travel category, we have food and drink, we have beauty, we have 29 categories right now. And there's about 7 or so of them that are not getting enough applicants, and we're nervous that they won't make it all the way through to the end right now. So I think, Ronald, the first thing that we want to focus on is just getting our name out there and this awards show just more visible so that we can get more applicants, because we know there's like 50 million podcasts out there right now, and we just need to make sure that everybody knows that we're here and we're trying to honor, and that we need help and some money, because if we have some more money, then we can definitely promote a little bit better. But yeah, so we're trying to focus on those things. But outside of that, we also have gotten a lot of questions about how old the podcast can be, or how many episodes should be out by the time they apply. We ask that you have at least 6 episodes published by the time you apply. Or at least, by the time you submit, or by the time applications are due, which applications are due August 31st. So please have 6 published. And then for our best new Black podcast, it has to have been, your podcast should have started in between July of 2020 and July 2021 in order for it to qualify for that category. I reached out to a lot of people that applied to that category already and double checked to see if they were within that time frame. And we moved the people that were a little bit older into a different category. So don't think that we're not open to help and assist. We've had people make mistakes and stuff like that. The only thing is if you submit it and then you come back and you say, oh, I want to edit my audio reel, or oh, I want to add a little bit more to the questions, you're a little too late. Sorry. But we would still, maybe next year, you can take some notes. But yeah, so the biggest thing I would say too is answer the questions with some thought. I've looked over some of these applications and I've seen some people that kind of just put in a few sentences. It didn't seem like they really just, I created this podcast because I wanted to have a podcast, my friends was doing one and I wanted one, or whatever. Like, that doesn't inspire me. That doesn't make me want your podcast to win for that category. And it probably won't incite the other judges to push your category to having the most points either, so really put some thought into your answers when you're answering the question. And I would even say before you submit your audio reel, answer the questions first and then think about, what did I not get to say in my answers that would highlight my podcast and the uniqueness and the beauty and the wonderful discussions or what have you that make up my podcast that I could put into my audio reel. And then that's how you should go about doing that. Outside of that, I think I'm answering. It's not a lot of questions on the side, so I think I've answered a lot of them. I will add that if you're unsure of where your podcast fits as far as categories, please reach out and we can help you to make sure that you're in the right one. And also, I've had some other people be nominated by their friends. And so if you're nominated by somebody else, all you have to do is message us either through DM. I would suggest email though, and tell us their name so that we could tell you where they put you. And then you can do what you need to do to get your application all the way together. But yeah, I think that's it for me. I think.
Perky, did you want to talk about judges?
What about them? Just needing more?
I think you were touching on something about judges that, yes, judges. Yeah, do we need more judges on your end?
Yeah, we do need more judges. And I mean, if any of my judges are on here, please get started so you don't fall behind. Because right now, a lot of you beautiful podcast submitters, or not submitters, applicants have put in a podcast application, but you guys have not submitted it. So we have like over 200 or so applications that are in, but we do not have many people that have actually submitted them. So I've been having my judges go in and slowly start judging and being able to take their time to get through them and listen and really put a lot of thought into reading over the questions and making a conscientious decision when voting. But it's only like this small amount that they're looking over, and there's still this many left. And so I definitely could use some more judges, but the ones that I have right now, you might want to get started so that you don't get overwhelmed. And then also, so we don't get overwhelmed, because whatever you guys don't do, we still have to do. And like Demetri said earlier, we're all volunteers. So, we have plenty of other things on the side. But I could use maybe 5 or so more judges. That would be lovely. But yeah, outside of that, just to know the process, what we do is we start going through it now. So the very first thing we do is check if you added everything to your application. So if you have the audio reel, if you answered all the questions, if you added your podcast art, if your names are on there and all those things, right? And if you don't have those, like especially if you don't have the audio reel, then we're not gonna judge. You're done. But if you didn't do it to the best, if they didn't feel like you really hit the mark of your category and how you answered in your submission, then you lose a point right from the start. And then we go into the next part, and that's when we like fully are looking to see like, okay, you're a comedy podcast. Did the audio reel show that this is a comedy podcast? Like, were we able to hear whatever part of comedy you address? And so I want to really hit that, because a comedy podcast doesn't mean that you're a stand-up comedian. It can, but it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you're a comedian and all throughout the podcast episode you're cracking jokes or whatever. It can also be the history of comedy, or you could be interviewing different comedians, or you could be reviewing different comedy stand-up shows that you've seen on Netflix or whatever, and really getting into that. But either way, we need to be able to see that within your audio reel. And then also the questions don't really address the specific category. So that part just is how well you answered the questions and if you put thought behind it. And please do not copy and paste your description to your podcast that you have on, say, Apple Podcasts, and put it under the question for why did you start your podcast. Like, if some of your answer comes from your description, that's fine. But I would like to know that you actually thought about everything for this specific application and put some time into answering your questions, right? Okay, so Vanita asks, do judges listen to multiple episodes? No, we don't listen to any of your episodes. We don't listen to any of them. None at all. We only listen to your audio reel and we read your questions. We don't have time to listen to the episodes. Not yet. Maybe in 5 or so years from now, or maybe if we get buku money and buku judges and something, that could be something that we add later, but not right now. Ronald asked, the number one thing on the agenda says learn how to create a submission reel. I'm here to make sure I do it right. Okay. What part of how to create a submission reel are you asking about? Like, are you asking the tech side, Ronald? Because Lance can help with that. Or are you asking how like, can you specify for me, please?
Demetrius here. I want to jump in, and Lance can extrapolate on this a lot, and Perky can too after listening to last year's reels and this year. I'm a food person. We just get a taste. Think about any food competitions you've seen, like MasterChef, MasterChef Junior, Top Chef. They do not eat that whole plate. That's from every submission. That's just that's the hot dog contest, y'all. If y'all seen those images, that's too much. Just give us a taste. And of course, you want to make it a great taste. And I'm a pass to Lance, who's works with and has worked with many podcasts and podcasters. But give us a really great taste.
Yeah, what Demetrius, I second what he's saying about that. So it's pretty much presenting your best foot forward with your content. So I would say pick out the best sounding parts of your particular show and stuff like that. Make sure it sounds it's audio quality is good. I would say the best template to follow is like how they make trailers for television or for movies and stuff like that. I mean, you don't necessarily have to like do it like that, but think about, you've been waiting for, I don't know, what's a movie that's coming out soon? Candyman. and obviously when Jordan Peele is putting out his thing or his company, whatever, you got to get the crowd hype. You got to get people like, yeah, I want to go see Candyman. So it's like, you got to make sure it's like, so you kind of want to grab that type of energy, put that into a trailer, into your how you're building your like, what do you want people to hear? What do you want people to like grab attention? How are you going to grab the judge's attention for for that particular thing. So it's like, if you're not, like I would say, if you don't know how to edit something like that, or you don't know how to get to that point, yeah, definitely check out places like Fiverr. It's there's nothing wrong with doing that, because I don't know what your situation is with your crew, with your people who are behind the scenes, who are editing and stuff like that. If they can do that for you, then you're in luck. You already have half the battle already there. And you just want to make it sound good. Put your best foot forward for the most part. I would say watch your levels. Don't peak. If you're starting going into the red, if things are too loud, tone that down. When it comes to like the file itself, make sure it's an MP3. It's a lot lighter. It's easier for people to pass around and stuff like that. Or if you have a link to the file, that's completely fine too. It was come to the delivery of it. It's just a lot easier to get everybody out there to make sure it works. Other than that, if you're looking for like techniques, that sort of thing, there's really not, I wouldn't say there's any kind of crazy techniques out there, but like I said before, it's like you just really want to, get the hype train kind of going for your particular, content, get people like interested, if you can, there's a audio drama called The Anansi Boys. It's from a book. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's not released here in the United States, but if you can get get a VPN, jump onto BBC iPlayer, stuff like that, I believe you can hear the first couple of episodes of that particular one. It's pretty much an all audio drama thing. So think about like that sort of thing, like how are they getting me excited to listen to this book, this Anansi Boy sort of thing. And, that's like a great example of that sort of thing. So it's like, because you're selling yourself, you're selling that content, you're selling your like your content, whatever, stuff like that. So I guess, let me see what else. Ron, you see you asking for all of it. And Dewberry, hi. That's another question for somebody else on the thing there. But so yeah, Ronald, you say you want it all. So pretty much one part of it obviously is how you edit this sort of thing. And you would, if you don't have access to things like I would say like Adobe programs or like Logic or all the big programs out there, so that's completely fine. You don't need those things. You can do that with Audacity. It's free. If you have a MacBook, you have GarageBand. You can pretty much do the same thing, and you just got to get a little bit more skillful with it because of that. But Audacity, GarageBand is probably your go-to, because Audacity works on Mac and PC. Macs, we got GarageBand, only Macs. That's like pretty much the best way to go about it. And there are tons and tons of like tutorials out there about, whatever you think about doing in that particular program. Trust me, somebody's covered it. Somebody has made a video about it. There are, all kinds of forums that you can tap into to read and figure that out. But figure it out fast, because applications are closing soon. So and get your stuff ready. Other than that, can't really think of anything else. Did I miss? Do you think I'm missing anything, folks?
Okay, I can go to. No, but I wanted to add to what you were saying about examples. I like the idea about the trailer. I don't know what's going on with my video. I like the idea about the trailer. I will say though, and I'm not the only judge. I'm just the nominations director. I'm kind of a judge, but I'm not really a judge. So you do not have to just take my full word for this, right? I'm just giving advice. I would say, if you already have a trailer made for your podcast, please edit it to be specific for just edit it to be outside of your how do I explain this? Okay, for instance, so if you have your podcast trailer and it says, in this upcoming season of blah 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 blah, I would say take that out. You know what I mean? Make it tailor it to where it's just a full trailer of the podcast, so that it doesn't seem like you just were doing your application, it was just like, I already got something for this. Just throw that in there right there, you know. And as I'm listening, or as one of our judges are listening, they kind of like, I could tell that this may be old, or I could tell that this is something else. Like, you know, it's a competition at the end of the day, you know. So it's like, are you competing to win, or are you just competing to be heard by more listeners? Like, what is your goal? If you want to win, then to me, you would do what you can to the best of your ability to make sure that this is unique for the BPA, you know. And you could still use it. We had somebody on last week that was a winner from one I think we had 2 people for our last application party that was winners for last year's BPA, and they said that their highlight reel, they ended up using it to also promote and push out their podcast, and it brought them sponsorships, brought them new guests, it brought them a whole bunch of new opportunities. And so look at this as something that can expand beyond the BPA if you put a lot of thought and effort into it, right? And so I think that's all I have to say on that. I don't see any more. Hey, Pine Science Diva. but outside of that, I don't see anything else. Okay. Anybody else want to add, or should I talk about something else?
Perky, I think you froze. Oh, there it goes. I don't think I have nothing to add on my part because I'm really, but yeah, if you want to continue talking, I can jump into something else. But if anyone has questions about anything, please answer them today, now, whatever you have.
Oh, I was just asking Demetrius, did the prices shift yet for the categories? Did you talk about that already?
A little bit I did, but was sick over the last few days, and I was like, I don't want to push people away, but we need these applications in because these judges are going to have to crank through them. So we have a show in, I think it's about 6 weeks or so. So prices are scheduled to go up tomorrow. That's why I'm having this application party tonight. Here's the secret that Perky already said, and I think Chanel said even before that. You can click right now, put in your name, put in that money, right? Your 1, 2, or 3 categories. And you can come back later and fill out the answers, upload your podcast artwork, and definitely the reel, right? A lot of other people, as Perky already said, they have done that. So if you are listening to this right now, you have not applied, stop. Maybe keep listening to us, maybe not. And then go right to blackpodawards.com. Look for the apply today button. Click on that. That's going to take you over to our Evolado page. We use Evolado to manage the many pieces and not get ourselves too confused about what needs to happen there. But yes, prices will be going up officially as of August 18th. It doesn't happen until I manually clickety click, as I like to say. So that's not going to happen. That's definitely not happening at no 12:01 a.m. Eastern time if I'm even awake at that point. So there is a little bit of a thing. There's some other ideas rattling around my head. I won't spill those out here. But the price is going up to the question and to the point that's been raised. And that's to encourage people to go ahead and apply, but also help us alleviate not getting all gazillion applications at the end and overloading our judges who, again, I can't say it enough, they are volunteer. We don't, there's a holiday weekend there, but that's not really our purview to eat that up. And we are also volunteers, and some of us may be judging also. And we need a little outside time and sunshine and picnic or nap or binging whatever the latest new jam is. I don't think Insecure will have premiered by then. I think we'll have to wait maybe till later. So that's the answer to this. Yes, the prices are going up. Keep an eye out. I would say if you are going to apply, but you're not applying today, today is Tuesday, August 17th, get on our email list. You may see something in there about a little bit lower than the sort of street price or the public price, if I can wing that. But regardless, the price, yes, is going up tomorrow, August 18th. Do we have other questions? I think we took Ronald. Ronald, I think, has the 411, and Lance told him about Audacity. Lance, I wanted to ask. I think you said this last time and or last year. I don't. I think you said it's not ideal, but people could also use QuickTime and or iMovie if they needed to do audio stitching together. Right? That's reasonable and free.
Yeah, it's built in. Yeah, like it's yeah, it really isn't ideal because you have to strip the audio from your video to get it in there. But um, if you have stuff already that can edit video, you can definitely save out as an MP3 in most video stuff out there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you're on Windows, I don't even know if Windows Movie Maker is still a thing. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I know that's usually built in on Windows. When it comes to Macs, you have, I think it's iMovie. Um, so that's one thing you can do there. But if you're already on a Mac, you're most likely will be in pretty good shape with GarageBand. If you're on Windows, um, if you yeah, you may have a bit more of a challenge there. But like I said, Audacity is free, and you can record and edit it within it too. So should be easier to go from there. But yeah, those.
I want to shout out you and all your master tech knowledge and everybody's knowledge here in their own lanes, because I used to use Audacity a full decade ago to bring physical audio cassettes
Oh wow.
P3 world. In fact, I still have all that stuff somewhere, like little tape recorders. Audacity just was jamming and like was starting to guess. Ronald's asking about Movie Maker, but I wanted to. I came back on Mike, not to sort of interrupt your flow, but I think I missed if we shouted out Tanisha, aka Pint Size Diva, who may or may not still be in the room, who is an applicant for 2021, and is already bringing the groove. If you missed that little flash that Georgianne gave us, blackpodawards.com. You can go there and get information. If you don't see the information you need, look around a little bit in our FAQ, frequently asked questions. But then, as Perky has said many times, as Chanel has underscored, please just reach out through email or DM. This is not our 24/7 job. Actually, nothing's our 24/7 job, but we will answer hopefully within a day or two. We need sleep and rest like the rest of the folks. And then your other question, Ronald, check your spam. Evolato should have sent you, correct me if I'm wrong, Perky. Once you set it up, then it emails you basically sort of your login and your PIN. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you go in and then you fill in the different things, the artwork and the reel, and then the questions.
And I just want to add to that, when you said nothing is our 24/7 job, I am my 24/7 job. Self-care. No. But yes, I want to uplift all the I'm really excited for some of these podcast categories. Just Demetrius sent us the analytics for some of the categories and how they're going earlier today. And the health and wellness podcast category is booming right now. And I'm really excited. As a mental health professional, I'm a therapist. I'm really excited to see all of the entries for that and to see where people are taking it in their podcast. It's been a lot of talk going on about mental health. So I'm really excited to see, not just mental health, we got COVID going on. So I am interested, and I'm not super surprised that with everything going on in the world that is an impacted category right now, but I am excited. I also am a true crime person, so I'm hoping that we get enough true crime podcast entries out there so that we can judge and have a winner this year for true crime podcast. So please encourage your people to apply for. I'm really surprised it's not one of the more popular ones. Like true crime has always been a big thing. You know, we got Snap, we got First 48, that's just TV, but we got some other big like Sword and Scale, that's not a Black podcast, but it's one of the true crime. We have a lot of true crime podcasts that's out there, so I'm really surprised that we don't have more entries for that. But I will say, if you do beauty, please apply. And that could be anything on beauty. It doesn't have to just be skincare practices or hair care practices. It can be how you've dealt with some of your own issues and how you try to figure that out. Or like I said, self-care, how you affirm your beauty. Maybe you do spiritual baths or whatever, right? You know, you might cross into different categories. Like I said, spiritual baths, right? That might help you feel beautiful as a person. But then there's spirituality, so that can go under the religion and spirituality category as well. So you have a lot of opportunities out here, people. I know, you know, with COVID and everything going on in the world, money might be a little tight. But you know how it go. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So sometimes you gotta put your money where your mouth is, literally, and let us hear what you talk about in your podcast so that we can uplift you. And from there'll be a lot of opportunities. We have plans to reach out to not only last year's winners and nominees and do more live streams with them and everything like that, and supporting events and everything. But we also will be doing the same with you guys. So if you have put in your application, you'll see that you signed an NDA you'll see that you checked off the terms and conditions. And the terms and conditions, part of that is us being able to use some of your graphics to promote later. So, you know, sometimes you may not win, but we might still in the future be able to uplift you as a podcaster. So I'll definitely say, like, put yourself out there. You know, really go in so that we can help to uplift you outside of you just being a winner. It took a lot of breath. But thank you guys. I'm excited. I'm excited for this year's podcasting awards. Should I wrap it up? Are we wrapping it up as a team? What are we doing? We all gonna say bye?
Yeah,
closing words.
I don't see any more questions.
I see one question from Vanita here that just popped up. Yes, you will, right? I'm triple checking with Perky. They receive an email. I think you receive it like when I did the test one. It wasn't even minutes, y'all. It was seconds. I was like, ooh, that's almost a little bit too quick.
Yeah, you definitely receive confirmation. And then I've been reaching out to some of the applicants, sending out emails. Like I did a list to all the ones that hadn't submitted, and I guess I don't know what Evelado did, but a lot of them had submitted already, and it was like, oh, can you please check? So I had to go back in and like, okay, so if you want me to check to see if you submitted, I need your name. So that's it. Just let me can I write in the comments? Oh, I can't. So you can email blackpotawards.com, and you know, it'll be forwarded to me if it's for me specifically. But my email is perkyperspectivespod@gmail. So either blackpotawards@gmail or perkyperspectivespod@gmail. Either one, it doesn't matter. And you just tell me your name, not the name of the podcast, because it shows me the name of the submitter as well as the category and stuff. I have to actually physically click them to see what the name of the podcast is. So it's easier if you just email in and just say, hey, I'm Vanita Mitchell. Can you please check and see if my podcast was submitted? If you're unsure, and then I could double check for you. But like Demetrius said, you should get an email confirmation. But yeah.
And I just want to rewind. I don't know if I might have missed it, or forgive me if I did. Ronald had asked about, oh wait, he didn't ask. He was just talking about Movie Maker, which I believe is a Windows product. I think with rare exception, just what Lance said, nearly all the video editors you can export as an audio. Now, how you edit audio in there is a little bit of a dance, I discovered many months ago. But you can export, you can't always necessarily edit or manipulate how you want. But there's a lot of free tools out there. They're actually, I'm not familiar with them, but maybe Lance, I think Perk, you have mentioned before. But there's a lot of stuff for the phones, right? There's a lot of stuff, including Photoshop for the smartphones. I know there are audio editors that big name musicians use to do like a demo audio track. I mean, not the same as podcasting, but the tools are out there. Just peek around a little bit, and there's a ton of stuff. It's stunning what is free. You are very welcome, Ronald. Vanita, Perky and Vanita. I'll check
right now. Yeah, I was about to say I could check right now, Vanita. Just give me 1 second.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Vanita's name somewhere, but that's not necessarily Evalato since I'm jumping from across there.
Yeah, I see yours. You got Black Religion and Spirituality. I just see your name right now. It's let me double check. It doesn't say draft, so it says approved. So I think you are submitted, and I see you have everything in there. So thank you, ma'am. You guys are some pretty women. Kitchen Island Tea. I see it. Okay, so yeah, you in there. You made it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like Demetrius said, there's so many options. If you have an iPhone, you got voice recorder on here. You have Anchor. They download. Shoot, even Green Room on Spotify. You could export your audio from there. You could do Zoom, and Zoom will not only export the video, but it'll also export the audio. So, you could use the tools that you have. There's audiogram. There's so many options. All I would say when making your audio reel is try to make it unique. That's it. If you're going to make a clip, please introduce it. Like, hey, in this clip, Kitchen Tea, I may have forgot the name of the podcast already, but Kitchen Tea Talk will be talking to our guest, Wanda, about blah, 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 and then go into it. And it doesn't have to be that boring, like I just said. It could say anything else, but just kind of if it's just going to be a clip, kind of give us some insight onto what we're listening to. But if it is something like a food, because I remember last year we had a really good entry for the food and drink podcast, and he did it was sexy. I'm not even gonna lie. He made me hungry. The way he was introducing the food and stuff, he was like, and then we're gonna have a little bit of this. And I was like, oh, so if it's alluring like that, then do what you do. But just I'm just capture us. You only have 5 minutes. So capture us. Oh, and by the way, if it's over 5 minutes, that will disqualify you. We're only accepting 5-minute audio reels. Evalato is not going to tell you no if you submit something that is over 5 minutes. But our judges will. And I'm going to double, triple check that says that in our judging information for my judges, because like I said, we do not have a capacity to listen to full episodes. So we're giving them 5 minutes, because last year we did 10 and it was too long. It was extremely too long. So that's another big tip. Make sure you make it 5 minutes. But outside of that, that's all for me. I'm Perky again, the nominations director. I appreciate all of you guys. If you have any other questions, just email or comment or DM us directly, or you can even find me at Perky Perspectives on Instagram. I go live sometimes on my own page and talk about Black Pod Awards as well. So there you go.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Bye.